Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Monday, May 16th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I align myself with the flow of my highest values. All right, so as I was looking at today's astro and looking at the cards, I had to search for a minute where it was, but I heard the voice, "You can come out now, it's okay." I was like, what is that from? And I realized it was Glenda talking to the Munchkins after I think the Wicked Witch or the Flying Monkeys had come through. I didn't go look for the part of the movie where it was, but that's what I heard, and that's the feeling after this eclipse. Now, full disclosure, I am recording this before the peak of the eclipse. So as of this energy of the recording, we are still in these eclipse energies. And to be fair, eclipse energies, full moons really stay with us for the next few days. Eclipse energies last even a little bit longer, and the lessons last for 6 months. So this isn't a call to like throw everything out the window, but we've got some beautiful shift happening with these energies today that can help us alchemize, move through the process. So before I dig into that, I do want to look at this week ahead just a little bit. On Tuesday, we have Mars and Neptune conjunct in Pisces. Very important to keep your awareness on your actions in your alignment, aligning your actions with your values, aligning your actions with your highest spiritual truth, your highest spiritual calling. Otherwise, you might find yourself swimming around kind of crazy aimlessly. Like, try to stay grounded and centered. That energy in itself isn't that grounding and centering, but you can really find yourself getting sucked into other energies and acting accordingly, and we don't want that. So aware of that. That's Tuesday evening. Let's see, we're finishing up Taurus this week, so moving through the final degrees of Taurus. As we move through the final degrees of Taurus, we will connect to Pluto, Sun and Pluto on Thursday. While this is a trine, it's not a negative connection. Anytime we have Pluto, there is transformational process. Be aware of that around money, be aware of that around your values, be aware of that around your personal worth. On Friday, oh my goodness, influx of really strong mental energies. We're going to have the moon moving into Aquarius. We're going to have the sun moving into Gemini. We're also going to have Mercury just about to shift back into the sign of Taurus. That's going to be on Sunday. And we're going to have the sun and Mercury conjunct in Gemini. So it's going to be super strong mental energy on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we want to, again, be grounded and be very aware of that. If you are somebody who's very sensitive to mental energies, be aware of that and be working on whatever it is that you do that helps mitigate these energies. So let's dig into Monday. Today we have the moon finishing up in Scorpio, moving past this eclipse, and our first connection past this eclipse energy is the moon and Pluto in a sextile. Now, I suggest if you did not check out my scopes for the eclipse, do check these out. These are good scopes, like yesterday's, Sundays, and Saturdays, just to hold on to, because again, these lessons are going to be continuing to move through, and we have another Scorpio eclipse coming at the second part of the year in about 6 months. So just good to work on these energies. Not to mention the South Node continuing to move through Scorpio is continuing to help us shift out of these old patterns. So listening to that may be helpful. This Moon-Pluto connection kind of locks in the deal for me. This Moon-Pluto connection as the first connection after this eclipse is like, hey, this process of transformation is ongoing. There is a process through this eclipse where we are being called into our power. So keeping that in mind as we are moving forward. Now, I love the moon will be moving into Sagittarius. That's at 4:50 a.m. Pacific time. And I really always say, like, the portal between Scorpio and Sagittarius has so much alchemy in it. In Scorpio, we go to those places and we work on finding our power. But when Sagittarius energy comes in, this is where we philosophize and come up with different solutions. We can see things from a higher level. Sometimes when we're in the muck, we don't necessarily see all the possibilities. And so with the moon moving into Sagittarius, we're like, oh, I can look at this thing that I was feeling with a different filter, through a different lens, with different potentialities for it. So this is what the moon in Sagittarius will be doing for us. Between Sun in Taurus and Moon in Sagittarius, we're also going to have our eyes wide open, lots of observation. So be observing, like, what's kind of happening in the world around you, and notice where, again, you're being called into your personal power. The Rebel card at the top of the cards. The moon in Sagittarius will be connecting to Jupiter today, actually a trine with Jupiter, and Jupiter is finally moving past that 0-degree energy. So it's fiery. Watch for fiery outbursts. While this feels like friendly fire, I don't mean that in a negative manner. I know that can be a negative thing. This feels like fun, creative energies, but it can always spike up, especially coming out of the intensity of these eclipses, and be reactive, especially with Jupiter in Aries. So be aware of any reactivity you may have. And then we're going to have the moon opposite Mercury. So moon in Sagittarius, Mercury retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Again, I'm feeling that observational energy. Gemini is like, ooh, I see what's happening in the moment. And Sagittarius is like, ooh, I can connect this to these other lessons that I've had in the past. So utilize these perspectives in helping move through whatever has been coming up for you. Speaking of friendly fire, I have the Lovers and the Rebel energy together. So I think like this fun, joyous energy may be spiking a little bit within us. These two cards, the Hermit card and the Outsider card in reverse. This is where I was like, it's safe to come out now. That kind of feeling. Don't isolate yourself. With the Rebel and the Lovers card, reach out. Reach out to those who you also feel may be able to support you in working through, in alchemizing these processes. I also have the Postponement card in reverse. So this energy is like, don't wait. Like, be in the moment. Be in that flow of things. This is a really good time to address these energies. So I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. If you have emailed me and I have not gotten back to you, the last few weeks were so intense with the eclipses. I am sorry for that. I try to always get back to people, but sometimes I find an email has slipped through the cracks. So you can always feel free to email me again. I'm never upset by that. Yeah. So that is it for today. You can book a reading. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.